Hey everybody, and welcome to BronsCast number 11, in fact. Wow. And today's BronsCast is going to be all about energy, creative energy, how to use that, how to maximize that. And I had the idea for doing the blog just because I recently got an email from somebody just saying, 2016 has been such a crazy and kind of a bad year for a lot of people for all sorts of reasons, and you seem to have this energy to have kept going and keep putting stuff out. It was in regards to the live DVD that I just launched, and so it got me thinking about strategies that I've used this year to just keep chipping away at things. Obviously, I only started out this kind of journey into making a living from music in about 2013, 2014, so still fairly new at it, but I have had a few strategies just to keep going when the going gets tough. And we have just one life. I think, was it Shakespeare that said that life is not a rehearsal? I might not have said it, but life isn't a rehearsal. We only have one life. And how we use our energy in that life is really important, and how we invest ourselves in the causes and things we pursue are really important in terms of how life feels for us. And so we're going to talk about that. But first of all, just quickly tell you about my live DVD. You can it's just come out. You can pre-order it. Well, it's not just come out, actually. I should say you can pre-order the live DVD at my website. So if you head over to davebrons.com, Brons is how you spell my surname. You can hit on the news section, you can see that and pre-order it. That'd be great. So that closes on the 23rd of December. You can also find me on Facebook, Dave Brons Music, and on the Indiegogo page. Just do a search for Dave Brons and you'll find me. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get on to today's topic. Now, the rundown to Christmas, guys. I am so tired right now. It's like, with the shorter days, it gets dark earlier. I've got loads of Christmas-related things, and I am really worn out, man. My energy levels are really low. And I think a lot of you guys tuning into the podcast will probably be feeling the same way. And, I had a thought recently. Somebody was trolling my YouTube page, just put a few nasty comments. And it got me thinking about this topic of energy. So we have all these problems in the world. The stuff going on in Syria, all this devastation, the various crazy election results in this year that have caused a lot of division, and all these real serious problems, and this guy who had the energy to do something good in the world chose to get up in the morning, go on one of my videos, and kind of have a go at me and my music and my playing and stuff. And I was just like, wow, all that energy you had to do something positive, and you went to find a video of somebody you don't really know, probably never heard of, and try and say something really mean and discouraging. And it just occurred to me that we have more opportunities than ever to burn time now. So there's so many distractions, like you can go on Facebook, social media, YouTube, you've got Netflix where you can watch films all night. We have, games consoles, just so many things now competing for our attention. And I think back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there was just a couple of TV channels that you could watch. And I didn't own a games console. I'm pretty old now, so there was still a fairly new invention back then. I think the Sega Mega Drive was the console of choice when I was a kid. And so I practiced guitar, and it just seemed like there wasn't many distractions back then. I hung out with my friends, we were in bands, and even though we didn't have all the richness of information that we have now on how to learn anything, like on YouTube, you can learn pretty much anything. If there's a video, if there's something you want to know, somebody will have posted a video, and yet we seem to get less done than ever nowadays, even though we have more available to us. And my response to the troll, I actually, usually I leave the comments up and just ignore them, but I just deleted it. I just pressed delete because I just didn't want to be consumed by it. And I think this is the thing. It's like it seemed like a real waste of my energy to get drawn into a debate about this, defending myself or whatever. I just don't care, And another thing, recently I took my kids to their first football match. That's soccer for you guys tuning in from America. And we didn't get, there were no family tickets left. I'd never really been to many soccer games. So we got in the stand with all the more vocal fans, let's say. And there were guys there, even guys with the kids, just screaming, swearing at the referee, swearing at the players on their team, the other team. And they're just so angry. And it just made me think a little bit, why are they so angry? And it made me wonder if people who kind of scream and get annoyed about stuff at matches, people who go troll on people's feeds, just haven't really found a good use for their energy. They haven't found a cause, they haven't found a constructive purpose in life. And so for them, their energy, the way they use it is to vent. Because that's all they have left, and that might be the only way they feel good. And I think that's why it's important to kind of figure out what your thing is in life. And, I think the same thing is true of people who complain and criticize all the time, complain about everything, complain about, like for me, complaining about how annoyed they are that Macs aren't as good as they used to be, Apple Macs, or complaining about Facebook algorithms, complaining about, just stupid stuff. We're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. But I think how we spend our energy does something to us, How we spend our energy just does something to us, not just externally, but internally. And, it's so easy to get drawn into pointless arguments, isn't it? Like, arguing about just pointless stuff. People put something on your Facebook feed that annoys you, and you just feel that itch to just get involved. And quite often the thing there is it's not really a desire to inform the person or sometimes it's not even a desire to vent your anger at like how stupid the thing is that they've put on there or how angry it's made you. Sometimes it's just this desire to be right. And I think right now, being right is overrated. Who cares if we're right about stuff, The point of having a debate for me, and I debate with people I really don't agree with, and those of you who know me well know that I love a good debate about anything. I hang out with people who share almost nothing in common with me in terms of opinions. I've debated with people who are really racist, and I have friends who have views that are kind of really out there. And I think I just don't. I've learned now that I'm getting on a bit. There's just no point. It's not about being right. It's about relationship, and those are the key things. So you can waste a lot of energy on being right, and the most important thing is right relationship with others and yourself. Just doing things that kind of are a good use of your energy. Not being right, being correct, but having right relationships. And I think that's how I sort of avoid trying to get drawn into pointless arguments. So what's the point of me telling you all this? I think it's really important to find your thing. So for me, that's music, and that's outdoor pursuits, sort of wild camping and going on adventures and stuff like that with my kids. And but it's important for people to find something that has a positive impact on the world, and that kind of use of energy will then build themselves up, and they'll feel more alive and stuff. And that's certainly something I found before I went into music. I'd hit a dead end. I was depressed. I just reached the bottom, and two things have happened in my life that have really changed a lot of things. The first thing was becoming a dad. Somehow when I became a dad, everything, all the angst and searching from before suddenly felt like I had purpose. I had a mission in life, and for me, my mission is firstly to be a good husband to my wife, who provides massive stability in my life, and and obviously so much more than that. And then be a great parent to my kids. And then thirdly, it's to use my energy to do the things that I feel I'm made for. So for me, creating and composing music, guitar music. So I think that's an important question. It's important for us to find our cause. So the other thing is once you've figured out what you want to be doing with your life and the things that make you feel energized, the thing that you wake up in the morning and think, man, if I could do nothing else today, I'd want to do that thing. That's the thing I'm talking about. I think it's important to figure out what is burning up your time. I'm just going to grab a drink. I'm really thirsty. So, what is burning up your time? Are you in a bad relationship that's just burning up your energy? In a relationship that's toxic? The kind of thing I mean, where it's just like, it's not working, it's just consuming your thoughts, it's really not good for you. You're in relationship with like that. Are you just consumed with anger? You just feel like everything you see on Facebook makes you super angry. You want to get involved in fights and stuff like that. Are you just constantly on social media? Has people liked my post? Do people love me? All that kind of stuff. We're all guilty. Do you have an addiction to your phone? Are you the kind of guy who's always checking your phone? If you're out at a meal, you just have a quick check. If you're in the middle of anything, you always check. If ever there's a dull moment, you're checking your phone. Yeah, you that kind of person. You're the kind of person who gets mad about stuff, pointless stuff, MacBooks, Facebook algorithms. Yeah, it's all just such a waste of energy. And but we're gonna move on to that next. I'm just gonna talk about this thing, which is the good is the enemy of the great. Okay, so we've talked so far all about. Well, I've talked so far about stuff that negative stuff, but actually one thing I've learned is that there's loads of stuff that seem good that get in the way. Things that just seem to be sort of in the area of what you're doing. So for me, it could be someone asking me to do a gig here and there, or teach this person, play that thing, record that, whatever, compose something or other. And then you're kind of like, yeah, this isn't really what I'm trying to do right now. And it takes real discipline to figure out what it is. So it's important, like, why it isn't on the path that you're going. And that's why it's important to set your goals. So my goal is to build a fan base and sell my music so that I can sustainably keep releasing music. That's my goal. There's lots of stuff I can do around music that could distract me from that seem connected to what I'm doing. So it's really important to be really aware of what you're involved in and aware of what you get involved in. The question to ask is, does it get you closer to your goal? If you've set your goal, like me, to be a full-time musician or something creative, to not get overwhelmed, it's important, firstly, to just take one step each day. A wise man said that. Just do one tiny thing, and also say no to, quit stuff that's not, just be ruthless. Just quit stuff. I've quit all sorts of stuff to remain focused, so that to maximize my energy into doing this thing. All sorts of really, stuff that I enjoyed, but just kind of wasn't really hitting the mark. So, does it get you closer to your goal? And, if perhaps you need to get out of a situation, have a good line. One that I use is, I need to stop doing this. I can't come to whatever it is because I need to focus on what's going on right now. I need to focus on what is going on right now. Which is sufficiently vague, and they'll be like, what's going on? It's like, life is going on. I'm just trying to do this record thing. So it's like, have little phrases like that pre-prepared as to why you're not going to do it anymore. One interesting fact that I learned recently is that the human body produces 100 watts of energy every day. That energy is amazing. 100 watts that we produce just by being alive. And so, we have a limited amount of energy, and we need to use it right, kind of in a creative way. So we've talked about trolls and time burning. We've talked about the good being the enemy of the great and quitting stuff. Let's move along to my next title is called A Little Less Conversation and Some More Action, Please, to quote the Elvis song. Have you ever met a guy who just talks constantly about what they're going to do and this celebrity they know and they're going to hook this person with this record and they're going to put this album out and they're working on these songs and it's all going to come together and they're going to buy this gear and blah de blah and it's all lined up and then you meet them like a year later and they're still having the same conversation in 2 years and nothing's ever moved and you start, we've all met somebody like that, maybe you're like that, and it's almost like talking about the thing they want to do is almost as good as doing the thing, and they get so caught up with telling everybody how awesome the stuff there is that the stuff that they want to do is that they never actually get on and take that step onto doing it. And sometimes, like for me, I don't spend a lot of time talking about it, but sometimes I just think, oh, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. For me at the moment, I need to start running Facebook ads and figure out how all that works. I've been saying I'm going to do it for a couple of months now and still haven't really got around to it. So I need to get out of that thinking pattern and just try and align everything out and just go for it, you know what I'm saying? So I'll have a word with myself now. And I think that can apply even to good stuff, like practicing guitar can be a bit like that. So say you go, oh man, I'm so practicing, I'm practicing all this stuff. But without goals and knowing why you're doing it, what you get is really good at practicing. And if there's no outcome at the end, like I'm practicing so I can be better at improvising, I can improve my knowledge of jazz. To do what? So you can release tutorials, great. So you can be in a band, great. So you can compose. But it's important, if you're just practicing just to get better and play something faster, I think in the early days of playing guitar, that's useful. But once you've been playing for a while, why are you practicing? Like by all means practice, but practice intelligently and focus on the stuff that's getting you closer to your goal. Otherwise it becomes a bit more like, you become a bit like that guy who's always talking about the thing and never doing the thing. Yeah? Hope that makes sense. The other thing is celebrity endorsements. The attitude that says, if only Mr. XYZ, if someone famous was behind me, or if only I had the right members in the band, or if only I was as successful as whoever the more successful person is than you in your genre or area, then everything would be fine. And if I could just get these people on board, then it would work for me, and then people would notice me and that kind of thing. Guys, let me tell you now, that is a waste of time. I mean, I've had loads of people more successful than me help me, but it was never through just wishing my time away. It was always through trying to make something great, like make a great demo, a great album, write some good music, being kind of successful in my own area. That attracts, like that energy and enthusiasm attracts people that want to work with you and help you. And the same thing for gear endorsements. It's a waste of time chasing gear endorsements. If you think, oh, if I just get an endorsement with company XYZ, then people know I'm a great guitarist, and then things will go great. Trust me, that is a waste of time. It's totally backwards way to do it. The way is, make some great music, make some great tuition products, do something great, finish something. Do something that's finished, make some great content. That's what gets people, that energy, that vibe is people go, oh, that guy's doing it. He's obviously working really hard. We want to work with that guy because we know he's invested into what he's doing. Yeah, he's using his energy super efficiently and in the right way. He's trying his hardest. That's what is going to work for you. Not chasing other people, but doing your own thing and creating your own vibe. So, another sip of coffee. So, little less conversation and more action, please. So, once you've figured out what you want to do, I've got a few tips I'm going to share with you that have worked for me to be more efficient, okay? Get more bang for your buck, because that's what we all want. Time is limited, especially for me, especially if you've got kids and a family and all that kind of stuff. Time is limited. You've got to make the most of your time. So here are a few things that I think are important. The first thing that I found is working all the time is not a great strategy. Okay, you might think that giving something day and night, 16 hours a day is the way to win. It's actually that doesn't work. Okay, having rhythm is important, and seasons are really important. I don't practice every day all year round. I practice when I've got gigs coming up or an album coming out. I don't compose every day. I try to. I'd love to. There are seasons where I'm really busy on one thing, and then other seasons where I'm really busy and I'm practicing really hard, and other seasons where I gig a lot. It's important to have a certain amount of rhythm where that not all days are the same. Okay, so in that, celebrating successes and stopping is really important. Not working on weekends is one of my rules. So if you're a musician who gigs at the weekends, then you need to take a day or 2 days off in the week to do something else that isn't the thing, having that something that energizes you. Having holidays. I'm not talking about going big expensive holidays, but at certain points you say, like, so for me, school holidays, Christmas holidays, I stop on Christmas Eve. I'm going to switch my phone off. It's going to go off for 3 or 4 days. My computer's going to be off. I'm not going to go on any of that. Creating a break, because this is the thing. It's in those breaks that real kind of where your energizes and the ideas happen. It's in those breaks that I find that the best memories are created. So, for example, I always ask my kids, what's your best memory of this year? And they'll always remember, like, the time we did something really different. We went on an adventure. We built a snow cave. We climbed a mountain. Something out of the ordinary. And it's important that in life you take time to not work all the time and take breaks. Okay, that's good for the mind. That's good for your physical health as well. Creating memories, really important. Okay, the next thing is this thing, which is minimalism. So minimalism is this idea, you can Google it by the way, is this idea that we try and cut down on the amount of stuff that distracts us, stuff that we own, the stuff that gets in the way. So for example, clothes, right? I went through my wardrobe earlier this year and I chucked most of it out. Now I only have 2 shirts and 2 pairs of black jeans for work, 1 pair of shoes. And then I have like about 10 t-shirts, 2 pairs of blue jeans, pair of running trainers, and so basically I have 3 pairs of shoes, 4 pairs of jeans, 2 shirts, and about 10, 15 t-shirts. What's that doing? There's loads of studies that people who are really successful in business, one thing they want to take out of their life is having to think about clothes. So I know that if I'm going to work, I'm going to have 1 clean shirt and black jeans, and then if I'm going to like something kind of doing a teaching gig or whatever, and then I've got another one that will be in the wash. Cuts down the amount of washing that I need to do. It all saves time. So if you're a lady as well, and it's a lot more challenging, ladies listening to the BronsCast, there are different combinations and ways you can look into that. So if you Google minimalism and look into that, that's going to help you with your wardrobe choices and save loads of time. Right, musicians, the next one is for you. Own less gear. There is a definite case to be made that owning too much stuff can be a distraction. If you've got gear that's really complicated with loads of buttons, I find for me personally, it's just a complete waste of time. I want simple bits of equipment. So my amps just have a volume and a tone on it, that's all. Mind you, I make my own amps, so I can design that way. I prefer little pedals with little dials rather than digital menus and things with a billion options. So I'm always going to gravitate to things that are going to help me get to what I want quicker, or things that sound really great straight out of the box as well. I think when you pay, sometimes it's not always about cheap stuff and not spending loads of money. Some big piece of gear like my 2 Notes load boxes, things like that, they just sound great out of the box. I don't need to mess with them. They sound great. I think sometimes as well, if you have a look around and you have like 20 guitars and you never play them, that's just more stuff to maintain, more things to keep working. So I have 2 main guitars. I have like my Jaden guitar, which is my main guitar behind me. I have the backup one, which is this guitar that I made from parts. I have a Stratocaster for those more traditional sounds, but I don't have like a Telecaster, a 12 string of, and a million guitars, because I'm not a session musician, so it's not really focused on where I'm heading. As a solo artist, I have a couple of guitars to get the sounds that I want. So, I think if you have loads and loads of gear taking up space, that's time you have to spend cleaning it, maintaining it, thinking about it. Just sell it, man. just get rid of it. Give it away to a good cause. The less stuff you have, just generally, not just guitar gear, but the less stuff you have, the simpler your life is going to be. I'm not talking about being a Luddite, and live in a flat with just one guitar, a bed and a fridge or whatever and a cooker. Although that's cool if you want to do that. But I'm just saying, look at where you can cut back and save time on stuff like that. So that's owning stuff. Get rid of clutter, declutter, it helps. I'm saying that's a bit hypocritical because there's tons of clutter in the back of the shot if you're watching this on YouTube. So clothes, owning stuff. Food is the next one. I use the stuff it's really simple stuff, but a slow cooker. I make all my own food, I don't buy pre-packaged stuff, but using the slow cooker is great. You just shove all the ingredients in the morning, then when the family get home from school and work, we just eat up. And then, or eat simple meals during the week and have really great family meals at the weekend. So the weekend is the time where I'll spend a lot of time cooking, and doing something special, family time around the table. But generally we go for really simple, quick meals during the week, and making a list of them really helps as well. Having goals. I tend to plan my diary, even though I have quite a crazy schedule, it changes a lot. There's certain things that I put in the diary. So I put compositions always in there. And practice time I diarise in as well, and certain things so that you regularly doing things, they're in the diary. And if I have a project, I've set deadlines. So for when I did this live DVD, I had have all the promotion done, have all the website stuff done. I set them in the diary ahead of time, so I'm always trying to hit those little milestones to go along. So that's a really good discipline, even if it's for practicing or getting ready for a gig, doing an album, setting deadlines in that you're going to hit to go along. And if you have to move them, that's fine, but it's really good to have something set in your digital diary that just pops up and says, today you're working on this. So that saves time. Phone, turning your phone off. If you go out for a meal, leave your phone at home. Don't be the guy that checks it. Have that break. When I'm composing, I leave my phone in a different room so that I don't hear it buzzing. And I've found a way of switching Facebook notifications off my computer. In fact, quite often when I'm working in the studio and here, I just switch the Wi-Fi off so I can't get any internet at all. Just because it makes it easier for me to not be tempted to just go and have a quick look at what's going on. For social media, one thing I've started using recently for my Dave Brons music page is some software called Post Planner, so I spent on a Sunday night, I just spend about an hour just pulling together posts of my own stuff, websites, songs, stuff that I've seen that's interested, stuff that I've saved that I've seen through the week, and then post them regularly each day. And then I'll go on first thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, and just check those, interact with people, say hello to all of you lovely people that come and check out my website stuff. But that is a way of me of not being on it all day as well, because that was becoming a bit of a problem. Once sort of my fan base started growing, I get people in America and Australia, people pinging me all day and all night long because of the time differences. So to manage that, I just try and go on just twice now. I need to get a bit more discipline with that. Final thing I'm going to mention, guys, is energy that comes from exercise. So I am not a spring chicken anymore, getting on a bit, and I just, not to get beefed up or lose weight or anything like that, just to avoid stuff like back trouble and injuries and stuff when I'm lifting heavy amps, I have to exercise. So I've built in a routine for that. I just do a really short run 3 times a week. It's just 2 miles. I blast round just to keep the legs working, and then I do press ups. I do 30 press ups, 30 pull ups, 20 sit ups every morning, just really quickly. That burns fat through the day and helps me feel better, and makes me feel, because there's a lot of sitting down in my job, again, just makes me feel like I have more energy, ironically. So there are a few things that can help you just be a little bit more efficient. You know, the minimalism thing, getting rid of stuff, planning your food and your goals and your social media, having less clothes to worry about. All those things are things. And then most importantly is just figuring out for 2017, what is the goal and how can you really invest your energy to meet that goal. So this has been BronsCast number 11. Please do head over and to my website davebrons.com and check out the live video pre-order and get that ordered in. It closes on the 23rd of December, so it'd be great if I could get a few more orders for that. And subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that stuff. And have a great Christmas, guys, and a brilliant new year. And I hope that everything you invest your energy into for next year will be really awesome. And if you have some real successes, please let me know. I love hearing from you guys. If you're on the mailing list, you can just hit reply to anything that I send out. Thanks for listening and have an awesome break, restful, energy building break this Christmas, guys. Take care.